So the other thing you were saying is that sometimes people have said that you're manipulative. You were saying that earlier, that there's something about, oh, she's just doing that to get attention or stuff like that. Is that, I was understanding that right? Yeah. So my sense of you is actually that that's not really what's going on. That there's some way in which what happens is you get into this spot and then things get so bad that it's almost, have you ever seen somebody when they're drowning, or heard a lifeguard talk about that when they swim out to save somebody who's drowning? When somebody's in that state, they flail around, and sometimes they're flailing around so badly because they're so terrified that they end up interfering with the person who's trying to help them. And I have this sense about you that when things get really at their peak, you it is really desperate for you, and I think that people misinterpret maybe. Do you think that's the? We should talk more about this. But what the problem here? I want to orient you to one problem because I think it's going to be really important that you and me have a way of working that really helps you, and doesn't actually make the problem worse. So here's the thing: when that emotion goes high like this, and then when you get up to this point, and what you do is escape, right? And I would say all of these behaviors over here, these are your ways of escaping. That it's like your body just leaves. It does whatever is necessary to get that emotion to go down. And when that happens, the unfortunate thing is everything that happens after that is super. You're a learning machine right afterwards. So when there's a consequence, like somebody is warm, when it's kind of like if you think about a kid in a candy store who throws a temper tantrum, and they're like, give me the candy, and like they're just throwing a temper tantrum at their parent. That's kind of how your brain is. It's like so distressed, it so wants relief, that it's communicating to you, do something, do something, do something. And when you give in by cutting or some other kind of more of these extreme problem solvings, your brain actually learns a lot. If you think about a kid in a candy store and you're doing the reasoning, what do you think? It really learns like that's the way out. And so the problem, right after you cut, after you sort of solve it in an extreme way, what we have to do is not have that be reinforcing, okay? Because that strengthens it. Because what will happen the next time? You'll be in the situation, and say you decide you're going to hold out, you're not going to give in. You hold out, you hold out, you hold out like that parent at the store, and then finally they're worn down and then they give in. What did you just teach the kid to do? You taught the kid to keep going high, 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 and then you're going to get the reinforcer. And so me and you, what we have to do is we have to wait all of the help early. Like we want 90 to 95% of all of the help, like me being available to you, me helping you out, all up here, and then and right up to this moment. But if you end up going the wrong way, like kind of resorting to old behaviors, we want to very quickly make sure that that is not reinforced, okay? So we don't want to make you feel more ashamed. There's a lot of interesting research about increasing shame and stuff like that is not helpful. But we also want to have it be where it's not reinforced. And so my suggestion is that we observe what's called the 24-hour rule. So after you cut, you and me would not have any extra contact. In other words, we don't let the brain learn, hey, this is the way to get more from the environment. If we have something scheduled, we'll keep our appointment. But if what we want to do is train the brain, no, where more help is, where more warmth is, where more good stuff is when you get to this moment, reach out for an alternative for the new behavior, not the old behavior. And it's very hard to train brains once they've been conditioned in this way. So what do you think about that? Can we talk through this idea of after you cut, we will not add any additional contact. We'll just keep with our scheduled session.